Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Max AC channel. For this month, since we are once again in the Lenten season this year, I thought we could repeat our theme for this month and do another round of Meatless March, where we'll be making 5 more recipes that are as delicious as they are meatless. For this week's episode, we will be making some Medjugorje Fasting Bread. For this recipe, you will need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 4 cups of wheat flour, 1 package of dry active yeast, half a cup of lukewarm water, 2 cups of very hot water. You can use holy water for this, but it can be difficult to get enough fresh holy water, so if you only have a little bit, you can just add that in as well. Or if you don't have any holy water at all, that's fine as well. You will also need 2 eggs, 1 for the bread and another for an egg wash if desired, 1 tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, or a quarter cup of honey, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and some more for greasing the bowl and bread, 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 cup or so of raisins or fresh apple peeled and cut, or dried figs, dates, or any other dried fruit, 1 cup or so of almonds, pistachios, or any other type of nut, and a quarter cup or so of plain oats, poppy seeds, or sesame seeds for an optional topping of the bread. First, in a medium-sized bowl, dissolve the yeast in the half cup of 100 to 110 degree Fahrenheit water. Cover with a plate and wait a few minutes until it starts to bubble. While you wait, in a separate large bowl, add the 2 flours and mix until combined. Then, in another bowl, add in the egg, salt, sugar or honey, butter, oil, fruits, nuts, the 2 cups of very hot around 200 degrees Fahrenheit water, and holy water if using, and give this a mix. If your fruits and nuts are a bit bulky, I recommend chopping them up to make it easier to mix into the dough, but up to you. When your yeast has proofed, pour this into the flour bowl and give it a mix. Then pour in your fruit and nut mixture into the flour bowl as well, and mix this until the flour has been completely incorporated. Then turn this over on a lightly floured surface and knead the dough until the dough is soft and smooth, about 5 to 10 minutes. Then, when your dough is ready, grease a bowl with some olive oil and then place your dough in and roll it around to cover it with the oil. Then cover this with a damp towel and let this rest for about an hour. When your dough has doubled in size, we are ready to divide the dough. So punch the dough down and then transfer to a surface to divide it into 2 large or 3 medium pieces. Roll these into balls and then transfer these to a pan lined with parchment paper. Then brush these with an egg wash, or you can use butter as well, and then sprinkle with your oats, poppy seeds, or sesame seeds if desired. Cut across into the bread, and then you may bake it right away, but I recommend covering it with a damp towel again and letting it rest for another hour or so. This will give it a lighter, chewier texture as the dough proofs a second time, but you are welcome to skip this if you wish. When you're ready to bake your bread, preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Then when your oven is ready, place your bread in and bake it for 30 to 35 minutes, or until it turns golden brown and sounds hollow when you tap the bottom. Let this cool for a few minutes, but when you're ready to cut into it, your Medjugorje fasting bread is ready to eat. With Holy Week coming up, I thought for this last week of Lent, it would be fun to do a meatless recipe using ingredients mentioned in the Bible. And of course, what better way to do that than with a recipe from the site of a potential Marian apparition? Medjugorje, literally meaning between mountains, is a small village located in Bosnia Herzegovina and is where this particular fasting bread comes from. More specifically, this recipe was based on one by Sister Emmanuel, a nun living in Medjugorje, found in her book Healing and Liberation Through Fasting. I did make some slight modifications, but this recipe is a great hearty bread to sustain yourself while fasting. Speaking of which, this bread, being a fasting bread, is typically eaten as is, served with just a glass of water. But you are, of course, if you aren't fasting, welcome to serve it with some butter or jam, or with the leftover egg wash that you didn't end up using cooked into an omelet like I did. Speaking of ingredients, the fruits and nuts that I chose to use in my bread are actually all mentioned in the Bible, with almonds and pistachios particularly being the only nuts explicitly mentioned in the book, found in the verse Genesis 43:11. Additionally, the rest of the ingredients used are meant to symbolize different aspects of the faith, such as honey, which is supposed to represent God's promise of abundance, and olive oil, meant to symbolize the divine presence, which is why high quality olive oil is used for anointing. As of now, Medjugorje is not officially considered a Marian apparition site, but the church has allowed pilgrimages to the village, with the caveat that the faithful refrain from participating in events where the reported seers present their reported apparitions as of a supernatural origin. But regardless of if the sightings were true or not, Medjugorje seems like a very beautiful place to visit. Though, if you aren't able to make it to Europe, hopefully this recipe will give you a taste of the village between the mountains. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know how it went if you decided to make it, and let me know if there's anything you want me to make next. Like the video, share with your friends and family, and subscribe to this channel for more episodes of the Max AC channel. And remember, if you want to stay cool in the kitchen, turn your AC to the max and watch the Max AC channel. And mix this until the flour has been completely incorporated.